Yo, what's going on YouTube? And today we got how a wanted soldier escaped police for over 7 years. Let's get right into it. Hour-long video, so get some popcorn, man.
Was found in the house. Okay, we were able to say that it is cat. Okay, I'm so sorry for your loss, sir.
Wait, what?
Okay, we were out off of Southeast Main Street. There was a body that was found in the house. Okay, we were able to say that it is cat. Okay, I'm so sorry for your loss, sir.
This is 28-year-old John Blauvelt, learning that his missing wife was discovered in an abandoned house, brutally murdered, surrounded by satanic markings. However, John had a disturbing secret he couldn't tell the interviewer that day.
Down. If I might put her down.
Using his military experience, he carried out a near-perfect murder that kept detectives one step behind for years. By the time investigators began to narrow in on him, John was already long gone, living in a new state, in a new house, running away with his 17-year-old girlfriend, and...
I can't pause this shit's hour long, but bro.
Seemingly...
17-year-old girlfriend?
This defies any kind of logic that I have experienced in my 60 years.
That is disgusting.
We know more than you think we do.
What if I told you that your cell phone did ping somewhere other than where you say you were?
Let's get it! All footage is real and obtained by the U.S. law enforcement.
2:15 p.m. on October
2016, the good old days?
2016. 22-year-old Katie Blauvelt is captured on CCTV inside her workplace. Her shift is soon coming to an end, and she's planning to meet her mother at 3 p.m. that same day. She leaves, calls her mother, and takes a selfie, unaware it's the last photo she ever takes.
Damn.
Not long after, her phone pings a location for the last time, and Katie disappears without a trace. 5 hours passed by. It's now 7 p.m., and Katie never arrived for dinner with her mother. Worried, the mother and other family members try calling her multiple times, but her phone has no signal. At 7:48 p.m., Katie's mother reports her missing. Officers, friends, and family mobilize to look for her, and the search officially begins. But this left detectives with a critical 5-hour gap in the timeline, one they would spend months trying to piece together.
I mean years. I love shit like this.
Hours would go.
Let me know if y'all fuck with videos like this. I love the long ones.
Whereabouts. Then,
way more interesting.
At 12:33 a.m., the police receive an unexpected call. One of Katie's friends is on the line, claiming he's just found her body, dead, inside an abandoned house deep in a nearby forest.
Simpsonville 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm in that Discover Church across from in the woods.
You're at Discover Church across from where?
In the woods across from it.
You're in the
woods.
I was worried about my friend, Katie, and she went missing. She's been missing for a while now, and she came in this house that we used to all hang out in, and she's in there.
Damn.
She's not alive.
Quickly, medics and police rush to the address of an abandoned house deep in the woods. Upon arriving at the scene, officers notice multiple graffiti markings, including apparent satanic symbol.
Oh, shit.
Soon after, they identify the caller as Wayne Roper, a friend of Katie who leads them into the basement of the abandoned house. There,
why would you even go in
find
there, bro?
A large concrete box sealed with plywood. When they remove the cover, they're met with a horrifying sight. Katie's body lies inside, with a knife pierced through her
hell
neck
no.
and 16
that
stab
shit's
wounds
deep
across her body. The lack of struggle and the state of her clothing, with her shirt pulled up and her lower clothes missing, suggested a sexually motivated killing. All of these details
sexually motivated killing, bro.
Straight to Wayne as their first potential suspect. But what they don't realize is that this is exactly what the killer wants them to think. Every detail of the
killer's licking their chops.
Been arranged to send them chasing the wrong lead. Without realizing it, detectives have walked straight into the killer's setup.
Rocked right into the
As
trap.
the night went on, forensics revealed chilling details. Katie's body had been dragged to the basement, and her phone was found submerged in water to destroy it. Wayne is detained and brought in for questioning. At the moment,
They probably
detectives
hella
believe
think it's
they have
them.
their killer, and they're ready to push for a confession.
Wayne, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, brother.
Hey, buddy. What's your name, pal?
Franklin Wayne Roper. Sorry, Franklin Wayne Roper.
Franklin Wayne.
Think about Wayne.
Like
This
the
time, Wayne
cops think
believes he's
hella
been
think they
brought
got
in
him, bro.
questioned as a witness after the heartbreaking discovery.
Stupid ass cops.
Unaware that detectives are already convinced about his involvement
Dude,
in the murder, and
cops
any
are so
statement
dumb.
he makes might be used against him.
I guess you know why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how did you meet Katie? Just from the time you met her, kind of what your relationship was, and leading you up until, 11:30 or so last night, okay?
I first met her, we were friends at first, and then we dated for
Oh shit.
like a month or so.
Damn.
And then that's whenever I moved to Liberty with my dad, and we stayed in contact for a little bit, and then once I left my dad's and went to North Carolina, we lost contact.
Detectives begin the interview by learning that Wayne and Katie were once together. But quickly, Wayne reveals something that would immediately put suspicion onto his name.
Whoa.
Maybe a year later, that Katie got married to John Lavelle, and
Oh, see, the cops are thinking, oh man,
night,
he was jealous that he didn't have her, so that's why he killed her. Dumbass cops, bro. I fucking think the answer's just gonna be right there, bro.
First time I've seen her since I moved, and since then, John offered me to.
That's why you always need a lawyer, bro. You need a lawyer, even more important if you're innocent, bro.
And I took it up. It was a big deal.
So you lived with her and her husband?
Yeah, it's
Weird.
It was
When was this? Do you remember when this was?
when I lived with him. It was before June this year.
As Wayne explains that he once dated Katie and later lived with her and her husband, detectives gain another reason to suspect him: jealousy. And just as everything appears to be moving in the perfect direction for the real killer and his carefully constructed plan, Wayne makes a claim that complicates the investigation and may just be enough to ruin the killer's plan.
Living there, everything like going okay, Then they started having arguments because of me, because she used to talk about me before, and she told me that he was jealous of me, and their arguments started getting worse, and that was whenever he got drunk one night and he cussed her out, and he had her in the bathroom.
Cussed her out or kicked her out?
They were just pretty much just screaming at each other, and then from there, she ended up moving back with her mom, I think.
When did you and Katie's, when you were living with John and Katie, were y'all being intimate with each other?
It was only once.
And John was there or not there?
It was like a threesome.
Whoa, what?
And how did that come?
It was like a threesome thing.
And how did that come about?
I was drunk and he was drunk, and it was her idea. Like after that, like he changed.
If true, Wayne's claims about John's violent behavior could shift suspicion towards him. But despite Wayne's accusations, something still doesn't add up. His story, with its inconsistencies and gaps, keeps raising suspicions. Because prior to this interrogation, detectives learned that on the day of Katie's death, Wayne
Man, she's
arrived
trying to get
late
freaky
work,
with her
and
ex
he
and her
admits to
man.
walking
Damn,
near
she
the
had
abandoned house around the time
she had the
Katie
time of her
disappeared.
life. At
More
least she lived life
importantly,
before
while
passing
at
away.
work,
R.I.P.
Wayne was
Umbrella.
aware that Katie might be
It's
inside
fucked up.
that very house. Yet despite that suspicion, he never alerted authorities. Instead, he waited until the end of the day, went there himself, and only then called the police.
I mean, that makes sense,
All
though.
of
He
this
doesn't
places Wayne
false- he doesn't
squarely
want
in the
a
crosshairs
false
of investigators, and
thing, you feel me?
unknowingly pushes them further into the real killer's trap. Because in the next few minutes, the interview will take a terrifying turn as detectives unknowingly edge closer to forcing an innocent man into confession to a brutal murder that he never committed. But before we get to that, recently I'd been able to find videos provide care for doctor in
I didn't think of it at the time.
where detectives are on the verge of pushing an innocent man into a murder
Let me see
confession.
that shit.
Why didn't you call the police?
I didn't think of it at the time. I didn't.
Did you know she was dead?
No.
Why would you think the best idea is for you to walk into what turns out to be her final resting place where somebody murdered her and dumped her down there like a piece of trash? You know why you didn't look in the bathroom?
We glanced in there with the flashlight. Like, if you're standing at the door of it, you can see in there.
You can't see in the tub. I'm telling you, I was up there in the day. Cause she wasn't in the tub. This defies any kind
This
of logic
cop is so fucking lame, like, bro.
that I have experienced in my 62 years on this earth.
Wait, what?
Any kind of logic that I have experienced in my 62
This guy's damn near
years
putting on
this
his life. That's what he's saying.
You look like you're gonna pass out.
This is too much.
I bet it is.
Get it off of you then.
I'm sure it is.
All you gotta do is lay it down.
This guy's
You lay the burden down, that's the only way you'll be forgiven. You gotta say, I messed up. Help me. That's what you gotta say.
That's
And
so
I'll do
weird.
it. But I'm not gonna do it on credit.
Detectives remained suspicious of Wayne, but with him sticking to his story and no hard evidence, they couldn't yet arrest him. Instead, they collected his DNA sample to compare with the DNA found underneath Katie's fingernails. But that's when, just a few hours after Wayne's interview, as police search the area around the abandoned house, they stumble upon Katie's car, only a few miles from the crime scene, left abandoned in a nearby parking lot. It looked as if she had left in a hurry, but the reason her car ended up there would remain one of the biggest mysteries for the following months. Up to this point, everything was going according to the killer's plan. One designed and carried out by Katie's
2-minute
own
blank.
husband,
Y'all know the deal.
John Blauvelt. But Wayne's
Then we'll hit a
comments
blinker.
about his jealousy pushed detectives to dig deeper. What they found was a restraining order filed months earlier after John had allegedly
No
pulled
way.
a gun on Katie when
What?
she refused to give him her phone. For the first time, despite his efforts, officers were seriously beginning to
2 minutes.
suspect John.
Starting now.
So the next day, on October 26th, detectives approach him at his office on the military base where he works. Their goal is simple: hear his side of the story, verify his alibi for the day Katie died, and see how he reacts under pressure. For most
Y'all think he's gonna give it up or not?
This would be the moment everything starts to fall apart. But John isn't like the rest. He would play it perfectly.
Bro's an actor. Look at him.
There.
Already trying to make tears come out of his eyes.
On the street, there was a body that was found in a house, okay, an abandoned house. And at this point, we're able to say that it is Captain, okay? I'm so sorry for your loss.
Look at this guy, bro. You're such a cap ass.
At this time, we are investigating, and we would investigate every death the same way. We start with homicide and work our way from there, okay? What the restraining order deal? What's the deal with that?
That's because a charge back that I got back
1 minute left.
February, domestic violence first degree.
Do you know
Do a 2-minute plank. See how you feel after. Back is relieved.
No, and I know that she's been dating around, and you know it's whatever because I've been too. But
Notice how John intentionally directs detectives towards the fact that Katie is dating around. Him pointing this out isn't a coincidence. It's a strategy. By controlling the narrative this early, John is quietly planting a story that will protect him later.
Did you work this Monday?
Mm-hmm.
What time did you get off Monday?
25 seconds.
like 2:30ish, I don't know.
Did you stop anywhere on the way home?
No.
Let me ask you this: why were you looking for Katie?
For Cheyenne. Cheyenne's destroyed right now, and I'm just trying to help her out.
Who do you know that would want to do harm to her?
Not nobody.
Do you know there's a guy that used to live with you?
3,
Redhead.
2.
Redhead?
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah. What's his story?
Just regular dude. Good guy.
Friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do for them?
Well, right now I sit in this office. It's small. Because of the civil investigation, all of my recruiting duties have been suspended.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Abandoned house.
I mean, it's not fucked up. You did the crime. Never mind.
What's the spot? Hangout spot. Am I being charged with a crime? Because he's recording me, and I'm not comfortable with that. No. And if I am, I'd like to contact a lawyer. Because this is uncomfortable.
Okay. You're not being charged. Okay. With a crime right now.
As the interview ends, John does something counterintuitive. He defends Wayne, the man he's secretly framing. It's a manipulation tactic known as reverse empathy. By showing compassion, he makes himself appear harmless and trustworthy. John's first interrogation had gone almost perfectly, leaving detectives with little they could use against him. Still, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. With no evidence to hold him, he was let go, and officers would turn to those closest to John and Katie, their friends and family, unaware that John had already influenced them.
What?
Detectives started with Crystal.
What do you mean?
Katie's best friend, and at the time, also John's roommate. John knew exactly what to expect here. In his interrogation, he had already planted the idea that Katie was dating around, and Crystal, being one of Katie's close friends, also knew about her dating habits. His hope was that she would unknowingly reinforce this misdirection, steering suspicion towards anyone but him.
Alright, October 28th, 2016, 4:47 p.m., Simpsonville Police Department. And like I said, all I ask is that you don't tell John you were up here. And he's not the only suspect. You know, there's other people we're talking to and questioning. Has he made any statements about, if I go to jail for Katie's murder?
He's just, I mean, he said that, it sucks for him because he feels like he's gonna get in trouble for it. But, he's like, I didn't do this, like, I'm tired of people coming after me.
Right.
See, me and John actually really do get along. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie about him at all. I'm gonna tell you the straight up truth. If he's acting weird, I'm gonna tell you, but it wasn't. I was thinking last night about it. I really was. Just maybe a split second thought that it could have been John. But he's, ever since Katie's gone missing, he's made sure that there was more than one person around him. At the time that Katie died at 8 o'clock at night, all three of us were sitting in the living room. I mean, from 5 o'clock when he came back home till me and my boyfriend left for work the next morning, he was there.
Notice how Crystal mentions that John got home at 5 p.m. and stayed there the entire evening until morning. It's a detail that would later turn out to be part of John's manipulation.
So, if you had to take a guess at who killed her,
I don't know, because I heard a lot of things, and I know she had a Tinder, and I know that she was dating a lot of people. From, Cheyenne telling me that she took a lot of people down in the house. I didn't even know the house existed.
Wait,
what?
What
were John's feelings or thoughts toward Katie to you?
I mean, I know that he loved her. I know that he still does. I mean, he's mad because of what Katie is accusing. He held the gun up to my head and stuff like that. And just by the way she was talking, I knew she was lying. Because that's what she did. Me and her used to get each other in trouble all the time in high school. That's what she would do. She would lie,
It's a tough case right here, I'm not gonna lie.
Just as John hoped, Crystal's account added fuel to the idea he had planted. By emphasizing Katie's dating life, she unknowingly fed into John's narrative, suggesting the threat may have come from someone she was seeing, maybe even Wayne. Next came Catherine, John's ex-wife and the mother of his child. He had already made sure she wouldn't say too much. Fear, and their shared child, would be enough to keep her quiet.
This is an investigator.
That makes sense.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
With you being married to him for 7 years, with the drinking, greed, and sober, has there been violence between the two of you? Okay. I mean, I'm not here to go and arrest him for something that happened, 10 years ago or anything like that.
But I just don't want to go into anything that had to do with us, because that doesn't have anything to do with what happened between him and Katie.
I mean, it's not that you're incriminating yourself.
He's a good guy. I mean, I'm alive. Bad joke, but I would assume I would
Wow,
be
chill.
if he was that crazy.
Well, you never know. It only takes one time for somebody to snap.
That is true.
No, but he's never snapped with me for some reason.
Plus, you two have a kid together, so
Yeah, there's that,
maybe
but.
that has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll give you a business card with my phone number on there.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much for coming up here. I appreciate it.
Catherine's silence kept John safe for now, but the final interview with Katie's niece, Cheyenne, would not go according to John's plan. Unlike Crystal or Catherine, she wouldn't protect him. Instead, she would point suspicion directly at John and reveal a motive that
Wait,
would
who is
tie
this again?
everything together. For the first time, his carefully built plan would start to fall apart.
Alrighty. Your name is Cheyenne Paxton, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is Thursday, October 27th at 8:52 a.m. Simpsonville Police Department. This is in reference to the homicide investigation.
Homicide!
Have you ever seen John?
That, I know. Not the time and place for that right now, my bad.
I've never seen him put his hands on. I've seen them argue.
Would Katie have gone over to his house on her own?
Within the last 3 weeks to a month, like I know.
So
She looks like she's going through it. Poor girl.
July. Yeah, no. He's seen her. I know that John is really angry at Katie for a lot of things.
Tell me what he's mad about her for.
He feels like that it's her fault. That all, like, you know, that their relationship went bad. And everything kind of went bad for a little while. He feels like it's her fault that he's losing his job. And that he got in any trouble. And he just blames it all on her, you know? And I don't know if this matters or not, but I know he has like a $150,000 life insurance policy on her too.
How does one do that? Like, what? What do you mean? How does somebody do that shit? What do you mean you have 150,000 life insurance on her?
Somebody close to you, but it's important. We, a lot of this information you gave us, good information that we need. So.
Cheyenne's interview gave detectives
That was,
first
yeah, no,
motive
facts.
pointing to
What the
John,
hell?
But motive wasn't enough. They needed evidence.
They have a few leads, but they have no defined person of interest just yet.
As the investigation dragged on, the detectives' frustration began to grow. John had covered himself so carefully that they couldn't even get a judge to approve a DNA warrant. Without
Damn.
it, they had nothing that could tie him directly to Katie's final moments.
How'd they
It's
get
now
him?
been 4 days since Katie was killed, and detectives didn't have any solid evidence. They knew John was smart, but so were they. Out of options and patience, they began planning something different. They began forming a new, risky, and very unconventional plan. In just 2 days, they would set a trap for John. A trap at Katie's own funeral. In the days leading up to the funeral, detectives stayed ready. While they waited, Katie's family mourned and tried to make sense of what happened. 22-year-old Katie had spent the past year working at PetSmart, surrounded by animals.
Damn, she's
she was
young.
saving and
22?
taking care of. She was easygoing and warm, quick to make friends.
Oh, this is in
and close with her
2016.
family. But her peaceful life from just days earlier would make what was about to come only more unsettling. As the day of the funeral came, detectives entered the funeral home early, working quietly before guests began to arrive. They positioned hidden cameras around the room and secretly wired the space for sound. Everything inside the funeral home looked normal.
Microphone under
In
casket.
reality, detectives controlled every detail. They'd placed cups of water and other drinks where guests could easily reach them. The plan was simple. Get John to drink from one of the cups, catch it on video, collect his DNA from the cup, and compare it to the DNA found on Katie's body. On October 30th, the day of the funeral, detectives set their plan into motion.
That's crazy how that's
What the
legal.
cameras are about to capture goes far beyond anything they expect.
How many people are in this shit?
As John leaves the funeral home, detectives know their plan is working.
Bro, why was
They
you?
returned to retrieve the cup he had drank from and the hidden camera they placed earlier. When they review the footage,
That hidden camera's so ass, but damn.
all of which will become pivotal to the entire
Bro, so dumb.
investigation. The first is exactly what they were hoping for. John drinks from one of the cups and leaves it behind, giving detectives the evidence they need to collect his DNA without a warrant and compare it to the samples found on Katie. The second detail is something they never expected. The footage captures John walking up to the casket, taking pictures of Katie's body while making unsettling comments. And the third, perhaps most unsettling of all, is that John isn't alone. Standing beside him is an unidentified young woman who quietly tells him to stop taking pictures, then giggles moments later. Her behavior
That's so weird.
immediately drew attention, and detectives decided to collect her cup as well for DNA testing.
Yeah, let me know
When
who
they
that
began
is.
Digging into her
Weird
identity,
bitch.
they discovered the woman was 17-year-old Hannah Thompson.
People just can't find, like, bro, what?
A friend, and more recently, John's new roommate. They also learned that she had once been close friends with Katie.
How old is bruh?
Given her connection to John and Katie and her strange behavior at the funeral, detectives know Hannah isn't just another witness. She might be the key to solving the entire case. And they were dead.
What's the age of cassette?
At
What
this
the
point,
fucking state is
detectives
this?
have interviewed Wayne, John, and people from both John and Katie's circle. They also collected crucial evidence and leads, and now believe that Hannah, the 17-year-old who lived with John, could be the key to uncovering the truth about Katie's murder. The next day, on October 31st, a week after Katie's death, detectives approach Hannah and bring her in for interrogation. If anyone knows what really happened, it's her.
When was the last time you saw Katie?
Like a few months ago.
What was your feelings towards her?
I mean, I've always seen her as like a friend, cause like
Look
I
at her
lived with
hand,
for a little
her
bit.
right hand.
So is it fair to say you were on good terms with her when she was killed?
Mhm.
Okay. Did you end up going to her visitation Saturday?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So you didn't get to say goodbye to her.
Lie number one, buddy.
I know John, I think, went there Sunday, right?
Mhm.
Okay. You didn't get to go with him.
I went with him. Yeah, I didn't go Saturday though, cause her family doesn't really like me because of her niece Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like kind of like off and on friends, and I think she might have said something about me that her family didn't really like me.
Did you go in the room and pay your respects, or
Mhm.
how did that go?
It was hard. It was really hard.
How long did you stay in the room with her casket?
Like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
What did y'all talk about while you were in there?
We didn't talk at all.
Nothing.
We just each had like moments, I guess.
John ever take his cell phone out and take a picture of her?
No, he didn't.
You sure? Or you can tell me. Some people do that.
Yeah, no, he never took a picture of her.
Watch Hannah's behavior closely. As the questions get more direct, her eyes start darting between the detectives. She fidgets with her hands, picks at her nails. Her whole demeanor shifts. It's clear she's getting nervous, and the detectives can see it too.
So while you were in that room, you two never talked at all?
I kind of rubbed his back a little bit. You know, I told him that it was okay, but other than that, we didn't really talk.
Was he crying? Were you crying?
It was just hard, like seeing somebody like that.
I bet. Okay. Monday night at some point before you went out, you guys carried out a bag of trash to your car, or to his car, right?
I don't remember.
So you don't recall carrying out a trash bag or him cleaning anything up? Having to put stuff in the trash?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On
Smart
Monday,
answer.
The day Katie was killed, one of their roommates reported seeing John and Hannah carrying out several bags of trash. At the time, detectives didn't think much of it.
Like, are you fucking
Felt
dumb,
like a
detectives?
small, irrelevant detail with
So
nothing to
dumb,
back it
bro.
up. But now, with all this new information coming together, that statement suddenly stood out. It was another piece of the puzzle, something they could finally use to put more pressure on Hannah.
Just so you understand, we've been working this case steady since she disappeared.
Right.
So there's a lot of these things that we know the answers to.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you already, you're lying to me. Okay? You do not want to get wrapped up in catching the murder charge. I gotta tell you a little something. At the funeral home, we were there. Okay? There was a camera in the room. There was a recorder.
Fuck. Too bad it looks like it's Android, but fuck.
So do you want to go back and...
The ganja!
I don't. It was not easy to see her like that.
Is that why there was some giggling and stuff?
There's not any giggling.
We've been doing this longer than you've been alive. You're not slicker than us. You know, you're not gonna outsmart us. We've talked to people. This is a murder. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about somebody that would stab a girl in the neck to the point where the knife went all the way through to the other side?
That's fucked.
And then stick her body like a piece of trash in the basement of an abandoned house to sit there for a day and a half before somebody finds her?
You can tell it's eating her up right now.
That's your friend.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Don't want to do what? Don't want to help us find out who killed her?
All you gotta do is tell the truth. It would be so easy. Can I tell you something? To tell the truth, you don't have to try. It just flows. It just comes out.
We're also aware of what people have told us about you and Katie. And they're telling us that you didn't like her one bit. Well, after me and John started, getting together, Katie started not liking me. If you know something and you're trying to cover up for it, you're gonna go down with the rest of them. You're gonna go down with the rest of them.
If I was her, I would just say I have no fucking idea.
Anything about her murder.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
I really don't.
We really do.
All they have is her giggling. That is nothing.
I don't want to talk.
That's all they have. That's all the info they have on you.
Even
is your
after being
giggling.
confronted with the footage and being caught in multiple lies, Hannah refused to give up on any additional details she may withhold. But while none of this gave detectives the definitive proof they needed, John didn't know that. And that uncertainty was exactly what they were counting on. So detectives decide to bring him in again. This time more prepared and ready to push harder than before. They planned to corner him with everything they had. But they'd have to be careful. If they pushed too far without enough to arrest him, it could tip him off, causing him to disappear.
We hadn't really had a chance to sit down. I know I talked to you that day when we notified you.
This is 8 days after the murder.
Things are kind of emotional and everything. So, right. So the viewing was Saturday, right?
Right. 2 to 4 on Saturday.
I'm gonna love some pizza. Hold on.
Sunday. 2:30 on Sunday.
Okay. So they just had a private thing for you? Did you go by yourself?
Yeah. Well, I took Hannah with me.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was that hard?
Yeah. Because I mean, first of all, there's nobody there but me and her, so we're just kind of standing there staring at Katie's nasty, dirty, disgusting body. I've seen people dead. I've fucking dealt with this shit before, and now there's nobody else there. You know what I mean?
That night, somebody says you and Hannah were putting some trash from a bag, like a trash bag in the back of the Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember doing that?
Oh yeah. Marley had the most explosive shit on the floor and stunk up the whole house. I threw out 4 towels.
This moment reveals Hannah's lie. She claimed she couldn't remember taking any trash out, yet John's statement confirms otherwise. It's a small clue, but one that'll soon become part of a much bigger picture.
So you guys got home around 3 roughly.
Yeah.
Brandon and
Crystal
were there. What happened after that? After you went around?
We went and met my friend Scott to get some money that he owes me.
What's he owe you?
He owed me $500 for when he crashed my car.
Where'd y'all meet with Scott at?
At the Zaxby's on Fairview.
But he was in the Army with you?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Y'all get deployed together?
We deployed together.
Did you go anywhere before that?
No.
This is where John makes his first mistake.
Bro said that
mentioning a
nasty,
name
disgusting
detectives
body.
have never heard
Like, bro.
before. Charles Scott, his friend from the military, someone who'd later proved to know far more about the night Katie died than anyone realized.
I don't know how much you know about the cell phone.
Not like a nice cold Pepsi.
As you go around, your
This
cell
shit's
phone
so good on
constantly
Pro.
searching for signals and stuff like that. So with that said, is there anything, going back to last Monday, is there anything that you've told me that your cell
Shit,
phone
pressure.
records would say otherwise?
I don't believe so.
What if I told you that your cell phone did ping somewhere other than where you say you were?
Then I'd also say that her cell phone pinged in West Virginia.
Yeah, that ended up being a AT&T mishap. They plugged in the wrong phone number.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna get some ranch.
What
Okay.
if I told you that Charles Scott's phone number pinged in the same area that yours did, and not around Zaxby's?
When?
Monday night.
He's got freedom of moving on him. We can call him. We can ask him.
So the night, this Monday night that we were talking about, around 6:15, sometime around that time frame. Can you think of any reason your phone would show that you were in that area of West Road and White Horse Road?
No.
Is there any reason you and Charles were talking a lot that evening?
Yeah, because that's the night that he was here. That's the night he was available.
I'm not looking to offend you. There's questions that we need to get answered and cleared up.
Okay.
Did Katie have any kind of life insurance policy?
Through the military, yeah. She's automatically enrolled.
Okay.
Same with my daughter.
Would you be willing to take polygraph so we can go ahead and do that with you and eliminate you and start looking elsewhere?
I have to talk to my lawyer about that first.
Okay.
See what he says, because I don't know about that at all.
As the interview ends, detectives
You're keeping it
have
nice
their
and solid,
first
not too
real
calm.
connection between John and Charles. Both of their phones show activity near the area where Katie's body was found. It isn't enough to make an arrest, but it's enough to keep digging. And with a new name now tied to the night of the murder, John can sense it. Detectives are closing in. At this point, the main circle of suspects included Wayne, John, Hannah, and now more recently, Charles Scott, John's friend from the army. But as detectives slowly pressed forward, John was growing uneasy. For the first time, he was starting to realize his master plan might not hold.
Oh, God damn, that
That's
shit
when,
tastes so good.
On November 4th, 11 days after Katie was killed, detectives received a call
Thank
that
God.
would send the case in a whole new direction. Crystal, who was John's roommate and had been interviewed earlier, came forward with information that changed everything.
Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh,
What's been going on since, I don't know, you got a phone call on Wednesday?
At 3:30, he called and he said, are y'all at home? And we said no. And he said, okay, all right, bye. And then just hung up. Well, me and Brandon got home about 6:15, 6:30, and we seen that in our room we have, like I said, the Halloween lights just going across the ceiling. The attic is right where that light is at, and we had the lights. I had the lights going across the attic. Well, when we come back, they were just torn down. We haven't even touched them. They were just ripped out from the attic. And
This shit's
once we figured
hitting
out he was gone,
good.
so
God
we
damn.
made sure all the windows were locked and covered, and because I've never been in a house alone like that, except for my apartment. But he was gone, you know, and we couldn't call him because the cops have his phone. I said, Brandon, we need to go back outside and call the Simpsonville Detective Warlock. And I told him what was happening, and he was like, I was like, if you want to come and search the house right now, I'll give you full permission. And he said, well, I can't do that without a warrant. And he was like, and I was like, well, I mean, there's no way that somebody can come out here and like search the house or anything like that. And he said, no. He said, your best bet is to go stay the night somewhere else. He was like, because you're possibly living with a murderer.
John was gone. His disappearance also meant he abandoned his military service, officially classifying him
Bro went AWOL.
as a deserter.
Nah.
However, as investigators would soon learn, he wasn't alone. He had fled with none other than the 17-year-old girl, Hannah Thompson. And as officers across the state searched every highway, every motel, every possible route out of South Carolina with no sign of either of them, it became clear this wasn't just an investigation anymore. This was a manhunt. In the days that followed,
Motherfuckers think they Bonnie and Clyde and
the
shit.
pair had vanished completely off the grid. A 28-year-old former Army sergeant and a 17-year-old teenager, gone without a trace. Then, on November 19th, 26 days after Katie's death, a small breakthrough happened. John's red Yukon was
Shit
captured
tastes
on
so good.
CCTV near Las Cruces, New Mexico, about 1,600 miles from Simpson,
Damn!
South Carolina, where he disappeared.
Bro's trying to go to
And
Mexico.
just 2 days later, on November 21st,
Oh, never mind. It went up.
that same Yukon was found abandoned in the mountains of Umatilla County in Oregon.
Bro, where is he trying to go?
1,400 miles away from Las Cruces.
Holy shit.
Inside the vehicle, investigators found John's laptop, clothes, and camping gear scattered around, suggesting that after the crash, John and Hannah grabbed what they could and ran into the woods. The discovery confirmed what detectives had already feared. John and Hannah were constantly on the move, crossing state lines and staying just far enough ahead of law enforcement to vanish again. Later that same day, authorities issued arrest warrants for both John and Hannah, officially turning the case into a nationwide manhunt. By this point, John and Hannah had already been on the run for over 2 weeks before any warrants were ever issued, putting them far ahead of law enforcement and nearly impossible to track. But once the warrants went active, detectives finally gained full access to their phones, chat logs, and internet history. And that's when their worst suspicions were confirmed.
I just woke up and I already feel sad again. I feel like you're still talking to Katie.
I promise you I'm not talking to Katie.
I will leave you if you talk to her. I swear.
I know. I'm not and I won't. She's gone. I'm done with her. I promise. I'm going through with that thing though soon.
I'm gonna be staying with you.
Good.
The messages between the two suggest that John had been planning the murder for months prior to it actually happening.
Why can't
And
you just
upon searching
break
his
up and
internet
not talk to
history,
her? Like, what's...
They found searches like
Bro.
how to make a two-way radio or how to sharpen a knife, leaving little to no doubt about his involvement. But with John and Hannah still missing, detectives had little choice but to wait, hoping for the next break that could pull them back on the trail. And that's when, on November 25th, 21 days after John and Hannah's disappearance and over a month after Katie's death, detectives got a call from a South Carolina prison. But the caller wasn't just anyone. The call came from the cellmate of Charles Scott, John's army friend who was already in custody for an unrelated charge. Charles's phone had pinged near the abandoned house on the day Katie died, and his cellmate was about to provide a lead that could give detectives
Bro's
the
trying to get
breakthrough
out.
they desperately needed, with details only the killer could have known.
As we're talking today, is that the Charles Scott you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. He up there and killed a girl. Helped kill a girl with one of his buddies. Named John, something like that. You know, they had put her in a drug house or an abandoned house, in the basement, in a box. That takes 2 people to open. He was the one that coerced her to the spot where John come up behind her and got her, grabbed her. They met at a different location. When John got her, they put the knife to her. John stabbed her. I don't know how many times John stabbed her. He didn't say. He said he knows he stabbed her twice and John made him stab her twice. He actually said it scared him when he stabbed her at first, but then after he stabbed her, it made him feel a little better.
William's statements are shocking. His account of what happened closely mirrors the possible events of the night Katie died, and what he says next only grows more disturbing.
He said, well, this is the second time, but the first time he told me about, you know, how he coerced her to come to the spot, and now we're going to talk about something about John, trying to help John come off of marijuana. John's on drugs real bad. After John grabbed her, they put her in John's Tahoe, red Tahoe, and took her to the scene.
So where did they say where they actually killed her at?
In the back of the Tahoe, on the tarp. I said, look, be honest with me. I said, have they took your DNA? He said, no. I said, well, that's a good thing. I said, your DNA at the crime scene. He said, they had took my DNA, it's not going to be there.
All right. If you don't have anything else, Mark, we're going to go ahead and...
Fuck. This guy's for sure getting out, bro.
Statements put serious allegations on
You know that's what they do, right? Like, they do that in jail. Like, when they talk about their crimes and crimes that they haven't been charged for, like, say... Like, just like this guy was telling his cellmate a story about how he killed a girl. This guy's fucking, while he's telling that story that whole time, he's trying to take in every single little bit of information because he wants to tell the police what the fuck happened so he can get time off his shit. So everyone snitches in the jail. Everyone's really a snitch, honestly.
It wouldn't be anything special, as false accusations like this happen when inmates try to get a deal with officers or get their sentence lowered. But in this instance, too many details added up.
Yeah,
details only the killer or someone heavily involved could have known. One of those was his claim that Charles had lured Katie to a location near the abandoned house. For detectives, this suddenly made sense of why her car had been discovered just a few miles away, abandoned without a struggle. Charles also allegedly told his bunkmate that he and John wrapped Katie in a tarp to move her into the basement. This matched forensics, which had already indicated she'd been moved after death. Now detectives have a chilling theory of how that happened. It was now a very big chance for the detectives to possibly catch one of Katie's killers. A chance they couldn't afford to waste. So without hesitation, they brought Charles in, hoping for the biggest breakthrough in the case yet. But detectives knew getting Charles to talk wouldn't be easy. They didn't have enough evidence to pin him down, and they needed something, anything, that could make him slip. So they decided to take an insane risk. They came up with a plan to push him over the edge. They would bluff, pretending that John had already been arrested and was ready to testify against him. If Charles believed it, the pressure might finally make him talk. But if he didn't, detectives would lose their best chance to get the truth.
Facts.
Let's get away from the polygraph, okay? Because you've been saying that ever since I read the warrant to you, okay? Because it's not looking good for you, okay?
I have absolutely nothing to do with that girl's murder. Can I please take a polygraph test? Can I please take
Let me tell you that John was arrested in New Jersey. Okay? And he's sang like a bird to those investigators.
I don't care what he told you.
Well, you should.
I was not there.
Investigator Manley told you that John was arrested earlier.
Okay.
And he's talking. What do you think he's saying?
I don't know what he's saying. I don't know, but I know I've never seen that girl a day in my life.
You were both there.
No, we was not.
As soon as the questioning starts, Charles demands a polygraph, and detectives know exactly what that means. Polygraphs aren't reliable, can be manipulated, and their results can't be used in court. It's an easy way out. Simple yes or no questions instead of real confrontation. And before long, his avoidance turns into an act of ignorance.
I never seen that girl.
But you knew that they were married, and you knew that John had problems.
No, I did not know.
Oh, no.
You told me at the Fountain Police Department that John has talked about how she was fucking his career up.
That was a lie. Everybody singing like a bird. I never had no weapon. You will not find no fingerprints on no weapon that I touched. Number one.
Why is that?
Because I wasn't there. I didn't touch no weapon. I never had no weapon.
But he said, I'll never find fingerprints on a weapon that you touched.
Yeah.
So, have you ever told anybody that you're involved in this murder?
Do I look stupid? Do I look like I would just go inside of a fucking jail to some guy I don't know and say, hey man, I murdered some girl?
No, it looks like you were remorseful for your actions. Well, let me ask you this. Where's the phone that you had that he communicated with Katie on?
Who's Kate? The girl that died?
Yeah.
I never communicated with her.
Where's the phone?
What phone?
The phone that was used to communicate with the girl the day that she was murdered.
Only phone that I had was the one you confiscated and the one in Miss Christie's house.
Even after the detectives bluff and revealed the testimony his previous cellmate made about Charles' involvement in the crime, he denied everything. Still, detectives couldn't ignore the phone data placing him near the house or the chilling details from his bunkmate. With no confession, all they could do was wait. Charles's DNA was now added to the samples already being tested against the evidence found beneath Katie's fingernails. And when those results came back, they would finally reveal who was truly involved.
Under her fingernails, bruh?
Over 2 weeks have now passed since the last lead on the case. With false leads and missing crucial timelines, it was becoming more and more possible that the real killers of Katie would never be found. Until the detectives got a call from Hannah's parents, with information that could soon result in solving the whole case. Hannah had resurfaced, stating she had been abandoned by John and would soon come back to her hometown, so law enforcement would be there, waiting for her.
What?
It was now the day when Hannah was supposed to come
57
back to her
days
home.
since Katie's murder.
Law enforcement secured all entries to the city, as well as all possible places she could go to. And finally, at 9 a.m., she would be spotted near her family home. From there, she would be instantly detained and taken to the police department.
I gotta
for
see this shit.
interrogation. For the detectives, it was now or never. That was their biggest chance of finding out what had really happened and who is truly responsible for Katie's death.
What was the game plan when you guys left?
I don't think we really had one. Like, I guess both of us just kind of panicked, and he decided that he wanted to leave, like, the state. And we, like, drove up into the mountains, and he just got the car, like, stuck in trees, like, in the mountains. So I was like, what are we gonna do? And he said that we would hike. I kind of, like, stopped, and I was crying, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I need to go home. Like, he started, like, yelling at me and calling me names and saying that if I left, like, he was gonna kill me. Then, like, one morning, like, he had gotten up and left, and then I was just like, I'm not just gonna, like, sit here. Like, I got up and I went to, like, down the street to, like, a hotel, started crying, and then I sent a message to my mom and dad.
Hannah continued describing their time on the run, doing her best to avoid talking about the day of the murder. It went on for nearly 2 hours, and by then, the pressure had clearly worn her down. That's when the detective would start asking her the difficult questions, causing Hannah to break, revealing everything she knows.
Let's go back to that Monday, okay? Because we now have conversations between you and him on Wednesday about he's going to meet up with her, he's going to drink some beers with her at this abandoned house. He says he tries to meet up with her, it doesn't work. But then lo and behold, she's found at that abandoned house that he was supposed to go meet up with her at. Meanwhile, he randomly asks you to drop her off on Woodruff Road, or drop him off on Woodruff Road, and doesn't tell you why or anything. Okay? So can you please tell me what the game plan was? What did he tell you he was going to go and do?
He told me that he was just gonna go talk to her at work.
You drove him over there.
He kept telling me, like, every day that, like, it was my fault, and that he did it for me, and, like...
What did he say he did for you?
He said that when we were in Oregon at the casino, he, like, yelled it really loud. He said that he killed her for me.
Hannah, was there a plan before this?
Bro.
No, not from you, but did John ever talk to you about getting rid of Katie? Honestly. What did he tell you about killing Katie?
He just said that, like, it was really, like, bloody. He told me that the knife broke. He just said that the handle broke. The knife.
Oh, yeah.
The last thing she said was ow. And she said that before that if he let her go, that she wouldn't call the police.
Where were they, Hannah?
In the abandoned house.
And you don't know exactly where he could be or what he said, right? Okay. Hannah, did you have anything to do with killing Katie? And the reason why I ask you this is because we're still hunting for John. Okay? And as much as you think John cared about you, from an outsider's perspective, not knowing you, not being your mom, he doesn't.
Unfortunately, Hannah's statements proved far less helpful in finding John than the detectives initially hoped for.
Y'all think she's gonna get charged?
John confessed to killing Katie and provided some new insights. She didn't know much about Charles's involvement, And while she could be arrested, detectives decided she might prove more useful free. After all, they now had her back in the city and under close watch, which seemed like a small success. What they didn't realize, however, was that this was all part of John's plan. Planting
How
Hannah
smart is
back
this
in
guy,
the city
bro?
to infiltrate the case and feed him exactly what detectives knew, keeping him one step ahead for years to come. Almost 3 months had passed since Katie's
85
body
days
was
after
found
Katie's
in the
murder.
basement of the abandoned house, and the killer was still out there. But on that particular day, the long-awaited DNA results finally came back, and the results of DNA found under Katie's fingernails pointed to no one else but John
What?
himself.
I thought y'all put the results were positive for just Charles. What the
With
fuck?
the DNA matching to John, Wayne was cleared. But detectives still believed Hannah
Charles
or
chilling then,
Charles
huh?
helped or at least knew far more than they
No,
admitted.
Charles for sure does. Hannah's
Detectives already knew
can look
that
it out,
John
babe.
was
She has a
only
good
using
lawyer.
cash and most likely a fake ID. So all they could do at the moment was wait for John to make a critical mistake that would allow them to catch him. But John was careful. Very careful.
How careful?
It had been over 7 months since Katie's murder and 6 months since John went on the run, when on May 21st, 2017, investigators received tips and possible sightings of John in Washington, over 2,700 miles from South Carolina, where Katie was found dead, and over 300 miles away from where his red Yukon was found abandoned. Acting on these leads, they canvassed local businesses and retrieved CCTV footage from a parking lot in Washington where John was captured on camera.
2017.
Unfortunately, despite getting close, John managed to slip away, vanishing off under the radar once again. For the next year, the investigation hit a standstill.
Jesus.
It wasn't until September 6th, 2018, almost 2 years since Katie's death, when Hannah finally revealed that John had given her his journal and tools to hide, a crucial piece of evidence that would shift the case in a new direction. The journal became a pivotal piece of evidence, revealing John's state of mind and his premeditated intentions. It confirms that John's actions were driven by a deep desire to be with Hannah and his willingness to kill Katie to make that happen. During
It's
her
never
interview,
that serious.
Hannah admitted she had been John's girlfriend and that she had been in constant contact with him before Katie's death. She also confessed that she had hidden John's journal, which contained disturbing entries about his obsessive thoughts and plans to escape with Hannah. This was the last significant breakthrough in the case for years. With no new leads,
So she was free?
investigation
Damn.
Stalled. Detectives spent the next few years chasing down small tips and piecing together fragments of information, but nothing substantial came of it. The case gradually faded from public attention. Then, in 2022, 6 years after Katie's death, everything is about to change. After over 6 years of dead ends, U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement tracked John down in Oregon. He had erased his past, now living under the alias Ben Klein. Under
Damn, he don't
his
even
new
look the
identity, He
same.
had started a fresh life, marrying a new woman,
Aw,
and leaving
bro.
his past behind.
That's the shit I'm talking
The
about, like,
arrest
bro.
felt surreal. John, who had spent so long evading capture, was now cornered. After years of hiding in plain sight, the truth had finally caught up with him, and the case was nearing its resolution. However, the mystery of how Katie was lured to the abandoned house remains unsolved.
How do
to
you
this
get?
day. Her
Why would
phone
you
was
even go to
recovered
the
damaged,
abandoned house, bro?
limiting investigators' ability to access message content and app-based communications. And while rumors suggested Charles Scott might have had contact with her, this was never confirmed. With no physical or forensic
Damn.
evidence tying him
Bro
to
kept
the
it
crime,
solid.
he was ultimately ruled out as a suspect
Wow.
and never sentenced.
That's why.
In
Keep yourself solid.
2022, during an interview after John's arrest, Hannah revealed for the first
6'7"?
time that she and John
She's
had
doing
been in
6'7"?
regular contact throughout the years he was on the run, continuing to text and communicate, even after
You just don't fucking learn, huh?
she had returned to South Carolina. This new revelation shed light on her
You're so
role
dumb, bro.
in helping John evade capture. Finally, on September 20th, 2024, John Blauvelt was convicted of Katie's murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Hannah
Good, bro.
Thompson was charged with obstruction of justice and accessory after the fact, receiving a sentence of 10 years.
Damn! What the fuck? Damn, I did not think that. I thought she was gonna get a little slap on the wrist. Horrible lawyer. Stupid ass bitch want to keep texting on shit. No, that's actually dumb though. If she didn't do that, then she would have been scot-free on her. But hey, man, that's the end of the video, man. If you guys fuck with these like long, hour-long Dr. Insanity videos or like murder docs, I fuck with it. I literally fuck with it. Cause it's not like a Netflix show where you have to watch like 4 episodes for it to be over. It's just 1 hour or like 30 minutes. I fuck with those. So if you like these type of videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Coming back to next. I'll catch you in the next video. I'm bang!